You're live.
This is the June 10 meeting of the Town of Warrensburg Zoning Board of Appeals. Let the record reflect that the members present are Mr. Oler, Ms. Coughlin, Mr. Oliver, and myself.
Hi. Do you want me to tell you how it comes before you?
No, we got little things to do after the roll call. First order of business is approval of previous meetings minutes. And those are, we held over the minutes from October 22nd because there's a case that was not there. It's been provided to us. I guess Teresa and I were the only ones that were here when they were. Did you find anything, Teresa, for those minutes that needed correction?
No, just the pages that I was missing.
No, October 22nd, I think he's talking.
October 6th,
No, I didn't, no,
October 22nd.
I'm sorry.
I did on page 88. And it would be the 6th line down. And it's the word in. That should be it. When I was apologizing for the delay that the lack of quorum caused for the applicants. And other than that, I didn't find anything else. Make a motion that the minutes of October 22nd, 2020 be approved. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next order of business is the minutes of May 13, 2021. I don't have any corrections. Anything from anyone else?
The pages were missing, got them.
I make a motion, the minutes be approved by consensus. All those in second? Second. All those in favor say aye. Next order of business is use variance ZBA 2021-2. Patty, can you tell us how that comes before us?
Sure, the Wartburg Trail Park, which is owned by Michelle Brown LLC, would like to expand their campsites. They'd like to add 76 more campsites. 8 of them are in the front, which is the business industrial zone, which does not allow campgrounds. So they need a variance to be able to expand.
Okay, but they are, I understood from reading that it's being used as a campsite now.
Oh, it has been for as long as I can remember.
So what changes that from a pre-existing non-conforming use if it already was a campsite prior to zoning?
Well, it is a pre-existing non-conforming use, but it needs a variance to expand. I can't allow them to expand without a variance.
No, not to expand a pre-existing use, but they were, well, I guess we'll ask that when we get to that. We'll ask the applicants.
Oh, and before we go any further, seeker is being done by the planning board for the whole project.
Great,
So you can.
that's welcome. Vince. Okay, who would like to start asking questions?
You want me to give a little presentation?
If you would, that'd probably be
Yes, sure.
helpful, I'm sure.
I'm Joe Bianchini with ABD Engineers, partner in the firm. We're the engineers for the project. John Hitchcock is here, he's the project engineer on this. Carl Krols is here, he's the managing partner for Michelle Brown LLC, the owner of the Warrensburg campground. They've owned it for, I think we said 12 years or so that they've owned it. And it's been here number of years before that, quite a few. So yeah, it is a pre-existing non-conforming use for your zoning. The black line here, all the way around, there's about 200 acres altogether that runs from Spoon River Road here where the entrance is, all the way to the east, to the Spring River, and north and south, a couple thousand feet, here altogether. Look. No, 100, okay. 100 acres, I'm sorry, I said 200.
I thought it was 91.
But anyhow, the entrance is here. It's kind of unique because the zoning line cuts right through the parcel, right through here, where the front portion of the site is a business, an industrial zone, which doesn't allow campgrounds, but allows recreational uses. Okay, the other side is a recreational use, and that's in the Adirondack Park Agency here. So the existing campground has 140 campsites now. We had 34 that were approved through the Adirondack Park Agency, DOH, and the town had previously approved them. And that area is here. We're asking and going through the review process now for another 76 units, 68 here in this location, and 8 here at this location here. This location here being within the hamlet area and within the area of the business and industrial zone, so that's why we need the use variance. As I say, you can see that it's been used as a campsite for a number of years. We're expanding it. It's a pre-existing use. We're not changing the use in any way. It's just using this area right here for campsites, 8 of them. The site has existing, there's a store there, there's a little miniature golf, there's recreation there with a couple playgrounds, basketball court, a swimming pool. Everything is there. The site has water. Each of the sites have water. It's municipal water from the town. There are several bath facilities on the site. There's several sewer hookups and dumping stations for the site. So all of that is being dealt with through the health department, through DEC, and through the Adirondack Park Agency. We're going to be doing a walkthrough with them next Friday to take it through. To use the site for any other purpose really isn't conducive to the site. I mean, there are other uses there that are listed in your zoning, to try to put like a gas station there, an office building, or a motel, or things like that. You can see it just doesn't, it fits behind an existing house. You know, it's not conducive to that, and you already have your entrance established, which you'd have to come in through that. So the use as a campground kind of just fits with the natural use of the property. This area here where those 8 campsite is, I believe, was previously used as a solar facility because there was a power hookup there for that, and now it's vacant.
It was used as a cell tower.
Cell tower, yeah, and so it's pretty much already cleared, and it's an easy fit to put campsites in there. So if you got questions, I'd be happy to answer them, or Carl can answer them if I can't.
Has there been any objections from the people in the front, the people that own the house in front of this project, where the new
We've
site's
heard no objections from them. The only thing we had was one lady that was downriver from us, had just a concern with people going on her property from the campground, and posted signs up there, so.
Which the planning board is aware of.
Okay.
I'm sure they will address whatever concerns.
Okay,
And I talked to the neighbor, and we had a very amicable conversation, everything's good, and they're good. They've already put up their own posted signs on my property and stuff. I told them they shouldn't be coming on the property, and I don't know why they would, because we have enough property for them to stay on our property. So I'm making all the emails and whatever to all the campers to make sure that they stay off at anybody else's property, period.
okay, well, I think our biggest hurdle here is as you started to explain the other uses.
Right.
And and I do agree with you that that's, it's, because of the isolation and the location, and probably with the wetland behind it, you wouldn't have easy access to put any kind of amenities that are required by the campground there.
Right.
Am I correct with that?
Yeah.
That's been,
Yeah, there is a small wetlands, where are we? Written back here.
that's what I was referring to, that
Yeah.
area is delineated.
Right, that makes it difficult to try to use that piece of land right there for anything but like a campground.
Patty, do you know if Mrs. Smith still lives in that house in front?
Oh,
No, she doesn't live there.
um,
I know the guy that lives there.
I know who it is
Brian,
too.
his name Brian.
Very, very young.
He runs a lot. He runs by my house all the time.
She moved out of there years ago,
Many years ago.
many years.
Is there any?
We have to point out that our swimming pool is right there
Yeah.
also. So if there's any noise problems or this or that, and I know the neighbors very well, if they had any problems, they come over and talk to me or whatever, and they've never once had a problem. And we make great efforts to make sure that there are no problems.
I wouldn't think they had a problem to begin with because the campground was there before they bought it. They just bought this a few years ago, so. it's
And
not-
you got the high school across the
Exactly. They
way.
knew what they were getting into when they bought it.
Exactly.
I did send notice to 14, I sent 14 notices out to all the neighbors that were across the street or touched the property.
Mhm.
And one across the river, so, and I only heard from the one neighbor.
And the county, just went to the county, was there any impact from them?
Yeah, I thought I put it in your packets, but
Let's see.
I'll read it. I'll read it to you. It says they approve, but it says, please discuss with the applicant these observations for the area with the 68 proposed new campsites. Discuss issues of permeability in the design of the campsite expansion area. Now a lot of this is geared towards the planning board,
Right.
but this was on the use variance. So I
Can I ask
I
you a
have to
question?
mention it, and not to unfinish. Campsite design configuration resembles an urban neighborhood with minimal open space and minimal green relief. Maximizing the number of 32 by 50 or 60-foot lots does not appear to maximize the camping experience. Observing that the quad created by the intersection of the paper streets, parentheses, Northwoods Lane and Birchwood Boulevard, would provide an opportunity to create pods with unique identities through better design. The new expansion area with 8 units are a part of the overall campground design and will not significantly impact the remaining business industrial zone. So, like I said, a lot of that's geared towards what the planning board has to review.
So we don't need a supermajority because there was no denial.
Right, there's no denial, they approve.
I should have said, public hearing is open. ZBA 2021-22.
You can start it now. Danny, is there anyone watching?
Yes.
Is there, you might want to ask if there's anyone that wants to speak, because there are people on YouTube watching.
If any of the people that are viewing this electronically would like to give us some input, that would be your time.
So you can carry on until she has something, because there's a delay.
Yeah, they have to type.
Censorship.
Could I just add one thing? And that is, all of the sites were designed in accordance to the New York State Health Department's regulations about what size we have to have minimum for the sites. And all of our sites are approximately a third larger than what is required by the health department.
This board can only look at the 8 sites, and you're asking us, that the planning board would look at the overall project. So a lot of what was brought up by the county, looking as Patty said, doesn't pertain to us. We can't consider it.
Thank
you. Any questions?
No.
Teresa?
No.
Matt?
No.
Okay. Do you have anything else to add, or anything that's brought up? Once we,
No, we'll be processing, as I indicated, through the planning board, DEC, and health department, and Adirondack Park Agency. We know we have more work to do on it. This is one of the steps we have to go through to get the variance for the use for these 8 sites.
the way our board works, we'll close the public hearing, but from that point on, we have, as questions came up, asked the people their opinions, but really, we're not supposed to have any more questions of the public. So, anybody out there?
No,
Nobody out there?
well, out there, but they didn't say anything.
Okay, at this time, we'll close the public hearing. And I'll make a motion, we always make it in the affirmative for the applicant, that the variance for ZBA 221-2 is approved. We'll proceed to, is there a second to that motion? We'll proceed with discussion, we'll get on through the, you can have a seat if you want.
Okay, thank you.
It'll be uncomfortable. Any worse than we're making. Okay. The use variance is a little higher, a lot higher standard than an area variance, in that you have to satisfy all the conditions to grant it, whereas with the area variance, you only need to satisfy the majority of the questions. So we'll start with question number 1. Under the applicable zoning regulations, the applicant cannot realize a reasonable return, provided the lack of return is substantial, is demonstrated by competent financial evidence. You answered yes. The existing site is used as a campsite today and is considered an existing non-conforming use. In order to meet current demand for campsites, that applicant needs to expand his operation on existing land he owns. It is most feasible to locate the 8 new lots in the BI zone area of the parcel. I think what normally, when we go over this, it's not usually about pre-existing non-conforming use. And it requires that, usually the questions are, have you tried to market the property? Have you thought of any other uses? We discussed that some, and that doesn't, the other uses are feasible, at least permitted in the zone. To me, don't appear feasible. I can't speak for the other board members, but that's my opinion. But, so I guess that would eliminate the reasonable return on the property. Someone else may have other ideas.
No, there's nothing else you can put there. Wetland and stuff. That would be feasible for them.
Because it isn't just about, we can't just consider that everybody would like to maximize the use of the property.
Sure.
But there has to be something a little bit extenuating, and in my eyes, it's the pre-existing use, and so. It's not, I don't actually see that as a change in the use. So. Okay. Number two, the alleged hardship relating to the property in question is unique and does not apply to a substantial portion of the district or neighborhood. You answer yes. The alleged hardship is unique as a majority of the site is zoned APA, which allows campgrounds, and a portion of the site is in the BI zone, which does not permit campgrounds. And it's, this one of those arbitrary lines that's so many feet from the center line of the road, is that how they created that for the zone? It's what it looks like, it's just,
I'm not sure,
That's
honestly.
serious. I mean,
it follows the code.
Here's a wall there, that's a.
Yeah, it is.
They wouldn't go that far. I don't
Yes, it would be,
No.
300 feet, 400 feet. That's what it is on Main Street. for us.
Really?
Yep, so. It's a pretty common.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know
common thing
why
that's on
the APA stopped there. I don't have
The
any.
APA stopped it.
Yeah,
Well,
It's-
maybe they,
yeah,
well,
I
if
have
it's
no
outside
idea.
the handbook, right?
Yeah, that's where that's where most, all the campsites are, is in the OH zone, which is also APA.
Mhm.
And I have no idea why the APA didn't go all the way to the front.
I was wondering why we went that way. So I guess it doesn't answer anything.
No, it's up to the APA, how much they wanted back in 1973, so.
Okay, is there any questions on number two, any observations? Number three, the requested variance, if granted, will not alter the essential character of the neighborhood. You answer no. If granted, this request will not alter the essential character of the neighborhood as it exists and operates today as a campground. That's,
It's true. Back then.
I want you to go on to that. Then we'll go to number four. The alleged hardship has not been self-created. You answer yes. The alleged hardship was self-created as the property was purchased while being designated in both the B1 and the APA zone. But it was an existing campground that was being used, the whole place.
And that's
the
always
entire
been, the
property.
back portion has always been APA. The front portion, I think, used to be SFR 40, maybe, if I can remember correctly. But
Okay, can
the
I-
back has always been APA, but it's the front that they need the variance for, so.
I'd like to sneak in a question, even though, you would have not bought the land because that portion there was in the town's business industrial portion, right? I mean, when you bought the campground, that wasn't a consideration or something that you bought saying, well, down the road, I'll get a variance and be able to use it. It was already being used, correct?
Correct.
But really, the hardships. Anybody that comes in here is self-created hardship. and that'd be
Yeah,
asked.
that's a,
You could-
that's the zoning changed for the front part, but I don't know when they bought it. So the zoning changed in 2012, so.
2012, we bought
That's
the
the
house.
divide,
See,
so
yeah.
it's only changed.
So the zoning changed the year.
So, yeah, because of that.
Yes, we've already had people say they were victimized by the town.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if
We all-
campgrounds
we all-
were.
I won't go that far.
Okay, and planning board's taking care of Cedar. So
Yeah, they have to for the whole thing anyway, so.
if you, well, Don't have anything else to announce, proceed to a vote. I guess vote, grants, variance. Mr. Oler,
Yes.
Ms. Coughlin,
Yes.
Mr. Oliver,
Yes.
and I vote yes as well, so.
Okay, thank you very much.
Glad we can help you.
Yes.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Patty, is there any new business?
No, there is not.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
Good
Take care. Good night.
Have a good night.